For better living, are you feeling good tonight? This thing got me thinking of life.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So this is my student Ade, and today we're going to be doing knotless braids on her short hair. I'm pretty much trying to show you guys the length of her hair by kind of putting my fingers through it. She has natural hair, so there is a bit of a stretch to it, thankfully. So normally I do not do short hair, because I feel like, it causes a great deal of stress on my wrist. So I always try to avoid working on people with short hair. But I had to make an exception for her, of course. So yeah, let's get right into this tutorial. So for her hair, we're going to be doing box parts, and when I do my box parts, I like to create very clean parts for the hair, so that way I can kind of create the illusion of the parts. And the cleaner your parts are, the neater your braids are going to look. So you always want to take your time to part the hair, so that way you can get the most precise parting you could possibly get. Now there are different ways to achieve a clean part. You could either use a rat tail comb, which is what I'm using, with very precise ends to part the hair, or you could use the African wooden comb, and so on and so forth. Now because her hair is short, it's even more important to make sure that you use your clips, like metal clips, hair clips, whatever you have. Utilize them, because short hair is a little bit harder to maintain or control. That's the word. So you really have to make sure that you pre-part and use your clips, so that way you can get the most precise boxes you can possibly have. As you can see, I apply a little bit of my Shannon jam that I always have at the back of my palm, so that way I can apply it onto her hair, give it a little bit of a tacky texture to make it easier to grip her hair. So I apply just a little bit of that and take my little hair clip and clip the hair out of the way. Now the reason I pre-part hair before I even go into braiding is because I want to have the most precise placement for the braids. Because sometimes when you're doing box part, if your calculation is off, you have to start all over again. That's if you care to start all over again. Well, for me, I do. So I have to make sure that I pre-part, so that way I get the hair. I know that the hair is going to be seated right here in between these two braids, so that way I can have, the most beautiful finish and just the most accurate placement for my box braids. That's why you see me taking time, making sure that I pre-part the hair before I go in to begin the braiding process. As you can see, the hair has a little bit of Shannon jam to it, and like I mentioned, it gives it a tacky texture, makes it easier to grip the hair, especially for short hair. If the hair is super short, make sure you apply some product. That way it helps you collectively control and collect the hair before braiding. So I started by braiding her hair into the three parting weaving style, and then I add the braiding hair into the middle part of my finger. I found that this is the easiest way to add hair for knotless braids without it getting complicated and annoying, and not as stressful on my fingers. So I literally just place the hair in between my fingers and then continue to braid. So there are different ways to figure out how much hair you want to add. It's just really up to you. Now the way I like to measure mine is I go off the density of the client's hair. So if your hair is thinner or fuller, it's going to determine how many pieces of hair and what size to add to your braiding hair. Because if somebody's hair is thin, you don't want to put too much braiding hair on it, because the knotless braids, it's literally hanging off of your hair. So you don't want to put too much weight on the person's natural hair. So if your hair is on the thinner side, make sure that when you get your knotless braids done, make sure that the braids aren't as thick in terms of the width of the braids. Do you understand what I'm saying? So yeah, when you're adding, just be very careful. If somebody has fuller texture of hair, what you would do is you would add very little amount, because the hair is already full and you don't want it to get too bulky. Now, yeah, you just have to be very careful. Knotless braids are not the same as regular braids with the knots at the base. Literally, the concept of it, just to break down, and give the gist of the whole thing, is that you're pretty much starting the braids with the person's natural hair. And when you start braids with someone's natural hair, you could still break the person's hair. And I say this because with knotless braids, the braids are literally hanging on your hair. And if the braids are too heavy, if the attachments or braiding hair that you put on the knotless braids process, if it's too heavy, it starts to pull on your hair. Now, I had my knotless braids done once in Lagos at a popular salon. Now, the braids were really, really beautiful, gorgeous. However, it hurt because the braiding hair was too heavy on my natural hair, and I had to take the braids down quicker because I knew that if I kept it on any longer, if I take down my hair was gonna break along with the braids. So those are the things you have to be careful of. I know knotless braids are very popular right now and everybody wants them because it's quote unquote safe, but it has to be done properly. If it's not done properly, you can still have breakage, you can still have pulling, you can still have all those bad things happen. So you make sure that you go into the right places and people that actually understand what they're doing, not just the techniques, but why they're doing what they're doing and how it could affect your hair or otherwise. So yeah, that's the gist. So I've done these tutorials countless of times, so I'm just gonna let you guys go ahead and watch. I did the very first knotless braids tutorial I did. I know a lot of you guys saw that tutorial. I really broke it down for you guys and explained the process. So if you want a more detailed and in-depth video on that, be sure to check out that video on my page. It's like a couple months back, 5 months ago. Just kind of scroll down. So yeah, so I hope you guys do enjoy this tutorial. So I'm gonna let you guys watch and let you guys get back to me when you're done. So when I do this particular braids, because we're going for the goddess look, I did not braid the hair all the way down. Now the reason I opted to do this goddess look without adding any curly hair to the bottom is because I actually intended to use the Freatress dip twist hair to add to the bottom for this look, but the braiding hair that she brought was a different color from the dip twist hair that I had, so we ended up not being able to use it because I didn't want her to look crazy. So what I ended up going for was to create the curly hair using the braiding hair, which was a tip that I got from my friend Kara. Thank you, Kara. Thank you for the braiding hookup. She's also a hairstylist, so she's like, girl, yeah, try it. And I think she did it once, so I asked her about it. So yeah, that's what we're gonna be trying today. So I'll show you guys how I was able to get that curliness at the bottom without the annoyingness of having to add a curly braid to the bottom. Okay, so that's what we're gonna be doing, so pay attention. Just all you literally have to do is when you get to the bottom of the braids, just don't braid all the way, just braid as far down as where you want the curly pieces to start if you were to add curly hair to the braiding hair. So that's the concept, that's the gist. So pay attention to when I do mine. I literally don't tie a knot, I just let it hang. I just let the braids loose at the bottom because we're going to be curling that with some perm rods. Not actually, no, we're not going to be using the perm rods. I forgot. So yeah, I left the hair hanging because I'm going to be twisting the bottom of all the braids, and I'm going to show you guys how I do that right now. So what I did was I started collecting the hair at the bottom bit by bit. So instead of just twisting the whole bottom, I kind of only wanted to twist the parts of the braids that were left, untouched. Now, because each braids were like different length, I had to hold it like this to make sure that I'm starting the twist exactly where I wanted the curliness to be. I didn't want to curl the braids itself, I just wanted to curl the bottom of the braids where I did not braid. So I had to hold the hair and I just twisted just that bottom part that I did not braid. Okay, it's very important because you don't want to twist the braids itself because then it starts to look childish. So you only want to twist the bottom of the braids that were feathered and untouched. So when you're done, we're gonna be dipping the hair into hot water. Make sure your clients are properly draped. Make sure you have a towel on hand so that way you can drip off any excess water that may fall off from the braids after dipping. As you can see, I always go in with spritz. After I dip the hair and have dapped off the hot water, I go over it with spritz so that way the curls can literally stay put. Now, if you don't put spritz on it, after a while, the curls will get looser and you don't want that. So adding spritz is for that extra hold is going to be huge and major, okay? So you don't have to redo this process all over again. So all I did was just untwist the twist that I twisted to get the curly look. Okay? So yeah, just untwist it. As you can see, because I picked the hair one at a time, the braids are gonna have a very natural layered look at the bottom for the curls. Now if I were to just like curl all the bottom without picking it, like placing only the curliness, only the left out bottom and twisting it, then all the braids would have just been curly at the bottom and it would look super childish and like super not cute. So because I did that, I was able to get that layered curl to make it look like each braids were like individually twisted at the bottom. But you know, it was nice, it was cute. So I'm going to be applying some mousse onto the hair. Now I was supposed to trim this hair. I started trimming, but you know, she had somewhere to be, okay, because this process was taking a little bit of time. So she had to dip, and I just, you know, took some hot towel to go over the hair. I tried to trim a little bit, you know, I did not trim, okay, so I did trim. I just, you know, didn't do a detailed trimming job, okay, which don't do that. Trim with all your heart and mind. So as you can see, because I pre-parted and did all that stuff, my boxes are literally an image of perfection, okay? This is what you get when you take your time. This is what you get when you plan before you braid. This is what you get when you are just patient, okay? So invest time to pre-part, you know, structure your boxes before you braid. I promise you the end result is going to be mind-blowing. Now this is a process where I get really annoying for a good 5 minutes, so I'm gonna let you guys watch. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Make sure you smash the like button and subscribe. Like I said, you guys, we do not watch videos for free. Your subscription is your payment, okay? So thank you guys once again. I love you guys so much. I'll catch you guys on my next video. Have a merry day and God bless.